spent 15 years yo-yo dieting, gaining it all back before I figured out what I can actually teach patients in just a couple months. So when someone tells me that their weight loss stalled and they're about to push that GLP-1 dose higher, I already know what's about to happen because I've watched it go wrong thousands of times. So here's what I've learned throughout that experience with patients over several years. Chasing a faster scale drop is usually the slowest possible way to lose weight long term. So today I'm going to give you 3 real accelerators. And by the end of it, you're going to understand why faster was the wrong thing to be chasing in the first place. I'm Dr. Jones, DC, and I run the coaching side of our nationwide GLP-1 clinic, working alongside our medical team every single day. So what I'm about to show you isn't theory. It's the pattern that I watch separate the people who lose it and keep it off from the ones who end up just right back where they started. So let's start with the mistake, because it's the same one almost every stalled patient that I talk to is making. So the scale goes down, everybody looks at the medication, right? It's such an automatic knee-jerk reaction. Is my dose too low? Should I switch drugs? Is it wearing off? But you've been told the medication is what's losing the weight, and that's the belief that's slowing you down. The medication never lost a single pound for anybody. What it actually does is it opens a window. So here's what I mean. That constant mental noise around food, the cravings, the snacking, the what am I gonna eat next chatter, running in the background of your brain all damn day, medication quiets that down. You know that. It opens what I call the window of opportunity. So for the first time in years, maybe even decades, your biology isn't fighting you tooth and nail. Hunger is manageable. Food noise is quiet. You can actually make changes and have them stick. But the window is all it is. The medication holds it open. You still have to climb through it. And what you do on the other side of that window, what you feed your body, how you move it, how you perfect what's underneath the fat, that's the machine. The drug works on the machine. It ain't the machine. Okay, so I know what some of you are thinking right now, but if it's not the medication, why in the world am I paying so much damn money for it? You gotta understand, that window is just as important as what you actually do to move through it. This is a team. You can't say what's better, the fact that you remove the brick wall or the fact that you can cross the goal line, right? The brick wall was blocking you. You had to move across it, but the brick wall was still there. The GLP-1 medications opening that window, that food chatter is a biological drive that you aren't going to win. You might have periods of time where you've won for maybe a couple weeks or a couple months, aka one of those good runs that you had, you lost a bunch of weight, but biology always won. So GLP-1s are just barrier remover so that you can actually do what you gotta do. And look, if you're watching this thinking, I get it, but I don't actually know if I'm on the right dose, or whether I'm losing muscle, or why I stalled. You see, that's exactly the conversation that my team has every single day. You can book a free discovery call with our team using the link below, or text the number on the screen, and we'll walk through what's actually going on with your specific situation. They'll give you a feel for what it's like to work with me, my coaches, our medical team. No pressure, just answers. All right, so let's get into it. So the 3 accelerators that I'm about to give you, I want you to understand that none of them touch your dose. All 3 are about what you do inside that window, right? Or past that brick wall. And the first one is the one that decides whether the rest of this is even gonna hold, or whether you're one of those people who loses 30 pounds and gains back 35. You see, every time the scale drops, you feel it. That little hit of progress, that dopamine hit. But I need to ask you something that you probably have never asked yourself. When that number goes down, what kind of weight are you actually losing? Because on GLP-1 medications, when the weight comes off fast, a big share of what's leaving isn't this squishy fat over here. In fact, the studies on these medications show everywhere from 1/4 to 1/3 of that weight loss can be lean muscle mass. By the way, this is the equivalent of 1 pound, and you can see how much bigger 1 pound of fat is versus muscle. And lean mass is just mostly a clinical way of saying your muscle. And this is where I have to break something to you. You've been trained to celebrate every pound of loss being a win. And a win is a win, right? That's unfortunately not always the case. Losing muscle is one of the biggest things that I watch set people up for that dreaded weight regain. You see, you gotta understand your muscle is a big part of the engine that burns your calories all day long, even while you sleep. Burn it off chasing a faster number drop on the scale, and your metabolism drops right along with it. Now you're eating the same and you're losing nothing. And the moment you ease off the medication, it comes roaring back. So think about what fast actually brought you. A quicker drop on the scale, a smaller and softer and weaker version of your body, and a metabolism set up for weight regain. So who cares about technically faster weight loss if you're losing the wrong kind of weight and you're gaining it all back? I know I was certainly frustrated back in the day when I gained and re-lost over and over, freaking 10 times over a damn decade. So Accelerator number one is simple, and it protects everything else that you're about to do. Protect your muscle. This is done with two levers. Number one is protein. I have patients that I coach, and we have them eating about 1 gram of protein for every pound of their goal body weight every single day. So if your goal weight is 150 pounds, that's 150 grams of protein. Now on a GLP-1 med, that's going to feel like a lot because the medication has crushed your appetite. But this is the one number that you fight for. And then number two, lift heavy weights. You aim for 3 days a week, working the big muscle groups, your legs, your back, your chest, and you add a little bit more over time. You're not lifting to burn calories in that gym session, you're lifting to send your body a single message. Keep this muscle. We still need it. You do those two things, and the same medication that was quietly stripping your muscle starts stripping fat instead. Same drug, but completely different body on the other side. That's the difference between 30 pounds you keep and 30 pounds that you're only renting. If you want me to film the complete muscle protection protocol that I run, the exact training split, how much protein to eat at each meal, and how to time your weightlifting sessions, let me know in the comments, especially because I'm doing the X3 bar now, if you want to see a video of what that looks like. So protein and lifting won't save you from the second trap, and it's the one that makes almost everybody reach for a higher dose at exactly the wrong moment. So here's the second accelerator, and it does start with the exact moment that breaks most people. The slowdown. Maybe the scale used to drop every week and now it's crawling. Maybe it stopped completely. Either way, every instinct that you have, plus probably your prescriber, says the same thing. Time to go up on your dose. And that instinct is the very trap itself, because a slowdown almost never means the medication quit on you. It usually means something else. You see, on GLP-1s, your appetite gets crushed. That's the point. But it works so well that a lot of people accidentally slide into barely eating. I'm talking 800, 900, 1,000, 1,200 calories a day without even effort, right? That used to be so insanely hard if you ever tried to lose weight in the past without GLP-1s. Guys, your body isn't stupid, okay? It can read that as famine, starvation, and it does exactly what it's built to do. It slows the engine down in an effort to survive. It's a cluster that we see all the time in our clinic. You're cold, you're foggy, you're constipated, you're exhausted, and the scale is frozen. That's your metabolism dropping into what I call battery saving mode. And once you're there, eating even less or adding more medication that suppresses your appetite even harder just drives you into a deeper situation. What's the fix? And I need you to brace yourself, because it is the single most counterintuitive thing that I'm probably gonna say today. Some of you might be like, Dr. Jones is crazy. Understand, I'm not crazy. I help hundreds of people do this all the damn time. So to break this kind of slowdown, you eat more food. This is the metabolic reset. So you're gradually adding calories back up, say a couple hundred at a time, 1 week at a time, until the engine comes back online. Now again, I know you're thinking, eat more food. I got on the medication so that I can finally eat less. This is the insanity, right? But you can't starve your way out of a metabolism that already thinks it's starving. You have to convince your body that the famine is over so that it can start letting go of the fat. Eating more food done right is the single biggest lever that I help patients with in order to restart their weight loss again. If that just rewired how you think about a stall, that eating more could actually be the fix, then you need to hit that subscribe button right now, because we put out 2 GLP-1 videos every single week breaking down exactly this kind of stuff. The stuff that most people never get told when they start these medications. Okay, so now you know why the dose bump is the wrong move so often. Remember, going up in your dose isn't going to repair a metabolism stuck in battery saving mode. It just suppresses your appetite harder, which is the exact thing that dug the hole to begin with. You get the reflex, stall, climb a dose, stall deeper, climb again. That ladder has a top, and a lot of people hit it feeling worse and stuck anyways. It's treating the symptom while the actual gets worse underneath. So let me ask you something, and I want you to be honest with yourself. If a friend told you that their GLP-1 stopped working, could you now tell them what's probably going on? Because if you can, you already understand more than most people ever will about why this actually happens. Okay, so here's the third accelerator, the quiet one underneath all of this. And to get it, you have to understand what your body's actually doing with the food you eat, not just how much of it there is. You see, there's a hormone called insulin, and every time you eat, especially carbohydrates, sugar, and some protein without fat, insulin goes up. And while it's up, your body leans into storage mode. That's its job. But the problem is, if you're eating all day long, from your coffee in the morning to your snack before bed, your insulin levels, they barely get a chance to come down, and they don't come down at all. Your body almost never gets the signal to switch out of fat storage mode and to burn as much as it needs to. Calories still matter, but insulin is a big part of what decides whether the calories that you're eating get used or stored. And when they get stored, guess what your body has to do in order to get the energy that it needs when you create that calorie deficit? You stress your body out. It's not about just eating less. It's about eating in a window. That's the true accelerator. When you give your body real stretches without food, even just tightening up to an eating window during the day, insulin levels drop and then they stay down. And for a lot of people, that's when their body gets permission to start tapping into stored fat in a less stressful manner, which facilitates more fat loss. This is the mechanism behind why intermittent fasting keeps showing up in the research on insulin and metabolic health. And it's exactly what I've watched restart weight loss in the patients who I coach who felt like they've tried everything. The physiology and the fasting research around it all point at the same direction. And the clinical results, they speak for themselves. Now, to be clear, I am talking about longer therapeutic fasts. Intermittent fasting is a great start, but if you really want to move the needle, you got to go into the deeper rounds of fasting. And if you want to learn more about fasting, I'll leave a link to one of my favorite videos where I talk just about how to implement fasting on your GLP-1 journey. And notice what this flips. You've probably been told the only thing that matters is how much you eat. When you eat is a lever that you control for free starting today. One thing on doing this right, and then I'll move on. Drink your water and your electrolytes while you're fasting. That's most of the game. And if you're on insulin or certain diabetes medications, you do this with your prescriber because those specific drugs can drop your blood sugar too low. That's a coordinated note, not a be afraid of it note. And for most people on GLP-1s alone, the medication works with your blood sugar, so this is usually very manageable. Okay, so let's now tie all three things together with the thing that makes them last. And it's actually it's the exact opposite of what most people do. You see, when your appetite is controlled and the food noise is quiet, you don't need to keep chasing a higher dose. That controlled, comfortable place is what I call your lowest effective dose, or your sweet spot. It's the lowest amount of medication that keeps hunger manageable so that you can actually build these habits. More medication past that point doesn't build the machine faster. It just suppresses your appetite and steals the very appetite that you need to hit your protein goals. And I already know the pushback because I hear it every single week. But Dr. Jones, my doctor keeps telling me to go up on my dose. I'm not telling you to override anybody. In fact, you need to work with your provider. But what I'm telling you is to know that a higher number is not automatically a better result. And you're allowed to ask why. And many times when you ask why, to your surprise, they might be like, sure, let's not go up. Because they don't really have a framework for why they went up to begin with. The goal was never the highest dose that you can tolerate. The goal is the lowest dose that lets you do the work. Unless you're diabetic, then it's controlling blood sugar, obviously. Because that's the path to actually needing less of it over time. And that's what we call metabolic independence. Your muscle, your insulin sensitivity, and your habits doing more of the lifting so that you can taper down to a microdose. And for some people, eventually off the medications entirely. So before I tell you where to take this, I want you to be honest with yourself for a second. Of these three things, protecting your muscle, fixing a slowdown without a dose bump, and using the insulin lever, which one have you actually not been doing? I want you to sit with that because that's your fastest lever starting immediately. Okay, so here's what I want you to do with all of this. If you just realize that you've been chasing the scale, instead of protecting your muscle, or you're stuck in a slowdown and the only plan that you've been handed is go up on your dose, that's exactly the gap that our team closes. You can book a free discovery call with our team using that link below this video, or just text the number on your screen. Our patient educators will look at where you actually are at, your muscle mass, your slowdown, your dose. And then they're gonna show you what it's like to work with our team. Me, my coaches, my medical team. There's no pressure, there's no obligation, just a real plan built around your situation so that you no longer have to guess. Because here's the truth that I want you to leave this video with. The medication was only ever the window. But what you build on the other side of it, the muscle, the metabolism, the habits, that's what decides whether you lose it once you keep it off or lose it and gain it all back a year later. You do this right now, and you don't just lose faster, you lose in a way that actually lasts. And if that muscle point hit home, if you're sitting there realizing you have no idea how you'd actually eat 150 grams of protein in a day on a medication that kills your appetite, I made a whole grocery breakdown, 10 exact high protein foods, what to buy and when to eat them, because the timing does matter. There it is right there. It'll make Accelerator number 1 dead simple to actually pull off. We'll see you guys later.